What's going on? Thank you for tapping back into Kuzimato Talks. Today we have a very, very special guest. One of the guys I would like to consider one of my brothers. We have the one and only Jaylin Howard.
What's going on, y'all?
How are you feeling today, my boy?
Man, I'm good, man. Blessed to be here. Once again, thank you for having me.
Of course.
Man.
I mean, thank you for coming.
I
Like,
appreciate
pleasure is mine. I'd like to just say, off rip, like, how you feeling? How's your mental health? How's everything going right now?
Oh man, mental health is it's a progress, step by step, day by day is what all you can do. It's important to take care of your mental health. Especially being where I'm at in my life right now, and all the things that I'm going through right now. Like we'll get into that more in the podcast for sure. We'll definitely get.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we got to start from the beginnings. I know you personally from Christ Lutheran, and you came in your 8th grade year, correct?
And
then that was my freshman year, so obviously I was still around. But like, how did it start? Where did you start going to school? Like, you're from Peoria, right?
Yep, absolutely. Born and raised. I went to Rolling Acres. So going back to the beginning, went to Northmore for elementary school, and then went to Rolling Acres 5th through 7th grade. Then that's when me and Kobe transferred to Christ Lutheran 8th grade year.
The best middle school in Peoria. But
hey, I'm glad you know it.
Yeah,
I'm glad you know it, man.
Can you tell us why you transferred to Christ Lutheran? Like, what was the
honestly, me and Kobe didn't really have a choice, but Quincy's dad was the one who convinced our grandma to bring us down to Christ Lutheran, and that was honestly one of the best decisions I've ever made. Like, even though, like I said, I didn't really have a choice, but going to Christ Lutheran was one of the best decisions I've for sure ever made.
Okay, so you went there 8th grade year. How was that 8th grade year?
Man, you already know how Christ Lutheran is,
the
man.
People don't know.
Yeah,
Tell the people if y'all don't know.
But Christ Lutheran was one of the best schools I've ever been to. Just the teachers and the connections that I've had, and just the family that I've made from going to Christ Lutheran. Miss Mooney and Miss Lamberti, they played and play a really big part of my life.
For
sure. Just being able to connect with God through them and getting closer with them, and just even like now, like if I were to call Miss Lamberti or Miss Mooney or anybody at Christ Lutheran, I know they would bend their back for me for anything I need. Like I think that's really important to have a community to lean back on. So big shout out to them. It was definitely a really fun year. I won 3 state titles at Christ Lutheran, basketball and 2 in track.
See, I don't even know that.
Yeah, basketball, and then
basketball I knew, of course.
Yeah. So just going to Christ Lutheran was definitely a really big part of my life and shaping the man who I am today. Like there's definitely a lot of life values that I still carry to this day from Miss Mooney and Miss Lamberti and just all the staff at Christ Lutheran. So it was definitely a big part of my life.
Nah, genuinely, and I'm glad you said that, because I also wanted to add, as someone who went to Christ Lutheran, that your teachers are honestly a big part of your life. Like you see them every day. At some points you probably see them more than you see your parents. So like it's something that if they're instilling something genuine in you at a young age, like you don't take for granted. Like you, as a grown man, you probably still think about some things they told you like 8th grade. You know what I mean? Like 100%. Shout out to Mrs. Mooney, that was the 8th grade teacher, and taught me some valuable life lessons. Honestly, all the teachers there, but like 8th grade you start kind of like being more cognitive to life and like understanding certain things. So like they definitely keep it real and they tell you it is what it is. And I would like to add on to your shout out, like shout out to all the staff there. Like same thing as him, just generally made me the man who I am today.
Yeah.
So going off that, obviously you came to Christ Lutheran, you won a state championship, you learned some valuable lessons. Then you went to PCS, right? Freshman year.
Yeah.
And how was your time there?
PC was definitely it was definitely a good school. You definitely got really good education there.
Right.
So yeah, I was there all freshman year. Then me and Kobe transferred half of sophomore year to Richwoods, which was definitely hard because I was in basketball season, in the middle of basketball season. So
it was in the middle of basketball season.
Yeah, when we transferred. So I couldn't even finish out the season. So that was definitely tough. But now PC was a good school. Just like I said, just the education and just getting different aspects of life of people. It was definitely a really fun school.
Right. So you went there half a year.
Full freshman year and then half a sophomore year.
Full freshman year, half. So basically halfway through high school, you switched to Richwoods. And then how was your, when you first come to Richwoods, you already been to PCS. You're kind of now adjusting, not necessarily making new friends, but new environment for sure. So
yeah, a little bit, definitely. Like when me and Kobe transferred, our counselor like took us through the school, and she realized like we had a lot of friends, like already knew
already
people,
there.
because yeah, me and Kobe were in District 150 our entire life. So even our guidance counselor was like, "Wow, you guys know a lot of people," and me and him were like, "Yeah, and like we've been in public school our whole life." So honestly, making that transition from public to private or private to public wasn't really hard for me or him.
Yeah.
Just because we knew everybody and everybody knew who we were growing up.
Through AAU and through
Yeah.
just like going to public schools
Yeah.
already. Like
absolutely.
and one thing I've personally never told you, but I've noticed about you since I've known you is that genuinely, and this is me speaking in whatever y'all can call it, glazing, whatever you want to do, but this is something I feel like I need to tell you just as someone who's observed you, is that anything you pick up that you genuinely care about, you excel in. And an example, right? Like obviously you hooped and like, you know, whether you've been doing that from a young age or not, like you obviously showed your impact at Christ Lutheran. You showed your impact when you played at Richwoods because yeah, it's high school, but you still have to be good to make the team. You still have to be good to get playing time, you know? And so
100%.
seeing you, you know, basketball, the people might not even know, but you were genuinely really good at soccer. Like you played soccer at PCS, right?
Yeah.
Played soccer at Richwoods. So then that's another thing. And then seeing you gravitate towards music because when I knew you from when we first met, I didn't know anything about you being musically inclined in general. So seeing the shift from all right, basically athlete, your high school career, and then you picking up music, you picking up the guitar, it's like I'll give you your kudos on anything this man wants to do, he'll get it done. You know what I mean? So like don't forget that about yourself. That like if you want to do it, you'll get it done. I've seen it with multiple things.
Yeah, 100%.
And so with that being said, it's just my curiosity is how did music start? Because like I said, I didn't know that about you when we first met, and out of nowhere, I just see you playing music. So how did that start?
So really so I play 11 instruments, self-taught and play by
Crazy.
ear for all of them. So the very first time I seen someone play an instrument, I was at a family vacation when I was like 6 or 7. And I was down in Florida with a family vacation. And my cousin Haley heard, she played this song called Heart and Soul on the piano. And I don't know, something just gravitated me towards that. And I literally like did not leave the piano at all. Like they would be down at the beach because we had a beach house when we were on vacation. So like the beach was 10 feet away. They were all at the beach and I was just stuck at the piano and just started teaching myself that. And then just started picking up random instruments and started teaching myself and just learning by ear. So that's how it all started when I was like before kindergarten on the piano.
That's fire.
Yeah, that's what brought everything to where I'm at now.
So at a young age, did you already know you're musically inclined, or did you learn that afterwards?
I feel like when I got to 5th grade is when I started really like realizing I had a gift. Because 5th grade is when I started band. I only did band for 2 years. And so like 5th grade is like when I really realized like I actually had something special, but I didn't think it would come to where I'm at
To
right
where
now.
you're at, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool that everything in life kind of does come full circle because, you know, even though you did sports for a while, you say that at even 5th grade, you knew you were musically inclined. So now you're back to doing something that you've honestly could have seen yourself doing in 5th grade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so now you're not only just making music, playing music, but you've got a large following on TikTok. You know, that's kind of what you do right now. You know, that's your main thing. And then also I've seen you play at a few different spots in Peoria. So like, what are all the different spots you've played? And I'll make it a little more interesting. What's your favorite spot that you've played in?
Man. So a few of the spots I played in, Peoria Heights Pizza Works, shout out to them. That's when I like really first started like performing out live. Was my very first open stage was at Peoria Pizza Works. And then the other spots I play is at Cruisins on Farmington Road, and then Kenny's West Side Pub, and Neon Bison downtown. But my favorite place to play at always will be Kenny's.
Kenny's has, was it Saturday night, Friday night? Like
Friday, Saturday, like any day of the week. Like Kenny's,
Yeah,
I will go to
it's a
bat. Like
vibe.
I'll die on this hill. Like Kenny's West
Ooh.
Side has the best live music in Central.
Yeah, I agree.
100%.
And not just like, obviously the music takes a big part into it, but
Mhm.
like, I feel like anyone who goes to listen to music at Kenny's is giving the vibe. Like, no matter who you are, I always see love coming out of Kenny's. Like,
Oh yeah,
whoever's on the
100%.
floor, whoever's listening to music, they're being free, they're being
Mhm.
themselves. So,
Yeah.
like, I can see why you say that. That's
Yeah.
your personal favorite spot in Peoria to play.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Easily. Easily. Not even close. Not even
Wow.
close. Yeah.
Okay. So, going off of you playing and you know, making music for TikTok, what is the goal with music? Like, obviously there's most musicians say the goal is to have a hit song, the
Mhm.
goal is to have this, and that also like reminds me of you making a beat with K, the producer, right? And then somehow, some way, that same beat got used for a SZA track.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
how long ago was that, and what necessarily happened there? I feel like no one knows if
Yeah.
could
So
collaborate.
shout out to my boy K, Caleb Proctor. You know, me and him been locked in for a few years now. So that whole thing with the SZA case, he texted me one day and was like, "Yo, come over," and I was like, "All right, cool. I got 2 soccer games, so I'll hit you up after that." And what's crazy is like I was super tired from like those 2 soccer games. Like I genuinely debated on not going over there at all.
Oh wow.
And so, but something told me, like just go over there. And like we were intentionally making a beat for SZA.
Which is crazy to think about, that like you put it out into the universe that
Mhm.
this is going to be. And if you guys don't know out there, I personally saw the post where Kay shares the screenshot between you and him, and one of the two of you, I'm pretty sure it was you,
Yeah.
said, "We're gonna get SZA,
Yeah, that
just
was me.
watch."
Yeah, that
So
was
like
me.
literally the session was the intention that whether this is a SZA type beat or this is specifically for SZA, like the aura, the
Mhm.
vibe, the energy was, this is a SZA beat, like not just a SZA type beat. This is a SZA beat.
Mhm.
And then, it unfolded the way it unfolded, but it literally got to SZA.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So like this dealing with that, like we've been dealing with this case for the last like three, almost like yeah, no, it's been 3 years now. But this is no shade to SZA, like, cause she's been cool about it. She's been
right,
working with
right.
us. She even DM'd us and was like, "Yo, this sounds exactly like
Which is
SZA's."
solid, because
Yeah,
how many artists are doing that,
yeah, yeah.
Like
Like they could have easily ignored it,
dismissed it.
Yeah, so but definitely big shout out to SZA with that, because she didn't have to handle it the way that she did.
Right,
So we're working with that. Everything with that is coming. We're at the end of everything of actually getting the ball rolling
right.
with everything. We got the cease and desist letter out. We're getting the musicology report done and everything. So hopefully by the end of this year, if not within the next few weeks, everything will be like settled and we know what's going on with everything. But it's definitely been a long process,
Oh yeah.
just being anxious of like just hearing back from our lawyers and just hearing back from the musicologists. So it's definitely been a rough 3 years for that
No,
for
for
sure.
sure. And I think that just shows how cutthroat the music industry is, because
Yeah.
let's say you're just a naive kid from a small town, right? And you want to send this artist, one of your favorite artists, a sample or a verse you've done for a track or fill in the blank. There's nothing to say that this artist literally won't jack that. And not to say that SZA herself jacked what you guys had going
Yeah.
on, but just the company, the business, could be the engineer, could be the producer, that they hear something they're inspired from, and it's so easy to just take it, because
Yeah.
now you have to get lawyers, you have to
Yeah.
get musicologists. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
You have to go through a whole cycle of loops and holes just to literally get what is rightfully yours.
Yeah.
So it's also, obviously I want everything to work out in your benefit, and you guys deserve the credit, but it's also a lesson to everyone who's listening that don't be so, and I don't know what happened, if you guys whether sent her the beat or sent her team the beat, but like, know your art is your art.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
100%.
just like that, someone can take your art, and it could be literally your biggest slash favorite artist that, okay, we send them this idea and boom, now they ran off with it. And what are you gonna do? You can only get lawyers, because they're too big for you to go on Facebook and go on Instagram and be like, this person did this without proof. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's the thing with us. Like, we have all the proof that we need, like all the files. Like, we even have the video.
Perfect.
And then like we even have SZA herself like
saying that. Exactly. And her team's probably mad at her about it, but at the end of the day, it just shows she's human.
Yeah.
You know? And then my curiosity is, we've already talked about all the different things you've done and that you can do. Is music your MO now? Like, is that your number one, no matter what, I'm dying on this hill, music will be my thing in life? Like,
yeah, 100%. And what's funny is, like I said earlier, like I never thought I never thought I would like be here in this position. You know, like I said, I signed to college for soccer. Like, if you told me a few years ago, like I'd be famous for music, like I'd be like, what? You know, but like, no, it's definitely my MO. I like, you know, just dealing with TikTok, just being a streamer for the last 7 years is what has really made me like grow as a musician. And so like, there's definitely a few people I want to shout out on TikTok, like, you know, like my Amy, my boy Hayden, Megan, Scotty, my boy Marvin, Marlo, just a lot of people who's been in my corner like since I met them dealing with TikTok, and Kuda.
Shout out to Kuda.
Not your brother Kuda, but no, it's
there's another Kuda out here.
Yeah, no, I'll bring up the Netflix thing soon. But no, there's just a lot of people just who I've been dealing with through TikTok who's always been by my side.
Right.
And
that's
definitely am very grateful for that, you know, like, so just dealing with TikTok the last 7 years and being a streamer, you know, like I go live every day.
Yeah.
And just knowing that I'm helping people like through music and just through my live streams definitely means a lot to me. Like around holiday times, I get a lot of DMs of like people saying like, I got a guitar because of you. That's, you know, that's something crazy. That definitely keeps me going for sure. Like, you know, like that's just, I haven't really wrapped my head around it. Like, people actually look up to me.
Yeah, and you have a crazy fan base. And literally, and this is to the audience, that just before we even started, you know, we take a couple minutes just to go over things and make sure audio's working well, cameras are set up right. But he puts up his phone, you know, TikTok, and boom, boom, boom. I'm seeing people joining. Before you know it, 10, 20, 30, and it just keeps going up. So it's like, this man puts out his phone, people start watching. That's already a big enough influence that whatever you say is gonna resonate and stick with people, you know? So kudos to you for knowing that you have that, I don't want to say power, but you have that effect on people. Influence, that's a perfect way to put it. Influence, in that you're not abusing it and making it just all for your own glory. Like, you acknowledge that there's people who say, you're the reason why I picked up a guitar. You're the reason why I do X, Y, Z. And I feel like that's big on the like fact of staying humble. You know what I mean? And it's probably hard when, you know, how many followers do you have right now?
277.3 thousand.
Right, and genuinely, how do you say that humbly? Like, you kind of have to pop it a little bit when you say anything in, you know, 6-figure amount of people who are following you. And since I've known you, you've never really made it seem like you're too big or you're too unreachable. Like, you're still the same Jaylin I saw in 8th grade at Christ Lutheran, you know?
I think one of the biggest things with me about being humble is just because I know my music ability can be taken from like away from me like at any given moment, like one bad car accident or like just anything to mess up my hands, you know, like I never want to be like put myself on a pedestal when I'm like comparing myself to people, because I'm not better than the next guy next to me, you know?
Yeah, and that's the humble approach I'm talking about, because who knows, once you get to 1 million, it might be a little easier to be like, hey, you're not on my level, you know? So, you know, kudos to you for acknowledging it, like I've said. And since you've said that music is your MO and that's your everything now, I've got a question for you. And this is also to the people, a question I would like to ask all of my guests, whether it's a musical guest or not. This is just something that personally I would love to know about people, because it says a lot about you and it just shows who you are as a person. So that being said, Mr. Jaylin Howard, you are putting together a concert. And in this concert, you have 3 acts, dead or alive. Who you got?
Michael Jackson.
Ooh, I'm only on episode 2, and that's a favorite so far.
Michael Jackson.
Of course.
John Mayer, obviously.
John Mayer. And man, I literally wanted to be like, all right, let me guess one, and I just forgot to do that. But he posts John Mayer all the time. When he went to a John Mayer concert, he was all about it. John Mayer, when he first started playing guitar, was a big influence. So that would have been my guess, but I'll remember that next time.
So yeah, Michael Jackson, John Mayer, and I'm gonna have to go with Mac Miller.
Mac Miller, and you got the shirt on.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got the shirt on.
You're preaching what you live. I hear you on that. Who's gonna be the opener? Who's gonna be the closer?
I feel like you gotta have.
Mike's not opening.
No. Mike's closing. Mike's closing.
In no top 3 are you putting Mike as the opener.
Yeah, but it'd have to go Mac, John, and then Mac and John can close out John's set together, and then it's gonna
fire.
It's gonna have to be Mike.
Honestly, if Mac goes, and this is your concert, obviously, so let me not take control of what's going on. But if I see your concert, I'm seeing Mac do his early fire, like get up out your seat shit.
Yeah.
Maybe close with like self-care, and that can like give the vibe that John Mayer punches into. You feel me?
And you could do Small Worlds by Mac Miller, because John Mayer helped him write that song.
See, and that's like the perfect like outro song into John Mayer's set.
Yeah.
Boom, and not to be cliche, and you obviously probably know more John Mayer songs than me, but like my John Mayer song, like I said, it's a little cliche, don't judge me, but Waiting on the World to Change. And so he plays that at any concert, and like you have 3 huge artists, your shit's gonna be packed, obviously, but he plays that to close out his personal set.
Oh yeah.
Mike comes on with any song. That's a fire concert.
Absolutely.
Obviously, I'd attend that one.
Yeah, 100%.
And we're gonna keep it on the music topic. You already gave me your top 3 on if you had a concert. Give me your Mount Rushmore of R&B.
R&B. This is my first option is going to be a
hot take.
But Chris Brown. You
know what? Episode 1 we had Self, and he also put, I'm gonna say, Michael Jackson for his concert, and he also had Chris Brown as So
no, I know
it's a Jaylin thing, maybe.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a controversial take. With everything Chris Brown's been through without his music career.
Hey, he almost said, "You dig." Watch episode 1, get to that part. If you know, you know.
You know. Well, nah, definitely Chris Breezy. He's one of the generations go. That might ruffle a little feathers out here. But.
No, he's in my Mount Rushmore if we're talking R&B.
So Chris Brown, gotta go Usher too as well.
Usher
as well.
We're getting to the.
You could go Tank.
Oop.
You could go Tank.
Mount Rushmore. I mean, I'm gonna respect it, but you know what? I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'll respect it.
You gotta go Tank a little bit, man. And then I'll go. One of my personal favorites, Johnny Gill.
Johnny Gill. Okay.
A little old school Johnny Gill.
One more that I'll say I'll respect. I'm gonna eventually get one episode where someone names the unnameless. Did I say that right? The non-mentionable. There's an artist out there that we all want to mention. You're damn near lying if you don't mention him. One of these episodes, someone's gonna say,
I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about.
Okay, so R&B, we got that out the way. I got one more for you.
I wish I could put him in there, but
that's a controversial take.
Yeah, no, it is for sure.
Gang said, "Do you have your passports? You want to come to America? Do you have your shots?" Oh God. Woo.
Yeah,
someone's gonna mention him.
That's a hot take for sure. I wish I could put him up there.
But completely understandable. Yeah. All right, so we got R&B out the way. I got another Mount Rushmore for you, and no, it's not rap. No, it's not like country or classical music. We got pop.
Oh, King of Pop is first. Michael Jackson.
Okay. Obviously. No doubt.
Honestly, I'm gonna have to go Michael Jackson, Charlie Puth. is.
Are we saying that because of recent activities or genuinely was art?
I like it. Like
Mr. Perfect pitched himself.
Jacob Collier.
I was just gonna say Jacob Lattimore. I was gonna say, damn,
they don't know about the Jacob
we're taking it there.
They don't know
if you know, you know.
But, yeah, if you know, you know, man.
Come on.
So yeah, Charlie Puth, Michael Jackson, Jacob Collier, and Justin Bieber.
Ooh. You snuck him in there, and I forgot about JB. JB's been popping his shit for how many years now?
Over at least 10 to 15.
At least. I remember being in the 5th grade, and motherfuckers were calling me because I liked JB's music.
JB got hits for sure. JB got hits.
I don't know if I'm gonna.
No, we got Self in the background. He's giving one.
I don't know if it's gonna make it in here, but because I respect Jacob Collier. But,
okay.
Are we only including men?
No, we can include females.
Is Beyonce not counting pop?
Ooh, see, that's a hot take because, and not necessarily a hot take, but Beyonce obviously makes pop music. But when I think of pop, I don't think of Beyonce. I don't know why.
I think of her R&B.
I think of her R&B, but genuinely, after you get to a certain point in life, I feel like it's all pop. So like Beyonce's at a point now that like, even though she made a country album, right? And just in case the viewers didn't hear, Self asked, are we only talking males? And if not, I'm including Beyonce in that list. But when I think of Beyonce,
if we talk,
I don't think pop. Yeah, of course. Bruno. And you know what? I'll respect Bruno.
Yeah. That's my only real fight back. But
no,
hey, I respect that.
I'll respect Bruno. And if 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
You know,
hey, that one with Coldplay was definitely like
you can't deny Bruno
for sure.
In any pop route, Mount Rushmore, you can't deny Bruno.
Yeah, 100%.
And genuinely, if I was gonna have a Mount Rushmore, I'm not gonna lie, and this is one of my favorite artists of all time. You guys might think I'm crazy, but I'm standing firm on this mountain. Post Malone, and from the jump, right? Like you think of White Iverson, and obviously, like. You think this might just be a white guy trying to get into the rap game because, you know, rap's popular right now. He made the song, fill in the blank, whatever. But then he drops that first Stoney album. And if you genuinely listen to the album, it just shows his range of this isn't just hip hop. And then from then on, you can't tell me a bad Post Malone album.
Yeah.
And I'm standing firm on that.
I agree with that. You know, like with him, obviously with Post Malone starting off as a rap, and then now he's in the country. Like I love that.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I definitely respect that Post Malone take for sure.
Like, and
seeing him grow as an artist is
man. And sorry to glaze Post, but like, there's just no bad song, even if it's a song that I personally don't like and I'm not running in my rotation. Post Malone makes hits. He knows how to make a good song. I'm dying on that hill. Okay, so we got through both Mount Rushmores. We got through your concert. If I'm thinking of the best still, like let's keep it juicy. We're talking the best. Take us back to Christ Lutheran. Give me the best. And you know what? Let's give you your props again. You won state your 8th grade year, you know. I'm not going to say it was just because you and Kobe came, but that was a huge, huge part into you guys winning state that year. Obviously, team chemistry and, you know, the talent you guys brought. But give me your best Christ Lutheran basketball team of all time.
It's gonna have to be the Blake Rayford year.
It's
gonna have to be the Blake Rayford year. I can't lie.
Rayford year.
It has to be.
Crazy.
And I wasn't even there, but like just the stories I've heard.
Know about
I know. Like it has to be that Blake Rayford year for sure.
Hey, Blake Rayford's year was fire, and I'm not sure if this is the same year, but the Justin Smith year was also fire, where we had David Mooney. He was on that team. Yeah. I think Anthony Rush was on that team.
It's got to be Blake Rayford's year. Like.
Then that's also respectable.
Or we can go way back in Christ Lutheran history.
David Robinson.
Yeah, David Robinson.
Come on.
Yeah, the very first. Or you could even go back to the very first team that won the very first LSA tournament, which was in 1989, I believe. Like Christ Lutheran, Christ Lutheran has the most LSA.
They have to. Honestly,
we have the most LSA boys state championships.
And LSA history. That makes sense because All right, so my year and like the year before, maybe even the year after, like you guys ended up obviously beating them, but Palatine was like our number one arch
Yeah, our
nemesis.
number one rivals.
Like
sure.
to the point where they damn near seemed like they were recruiting for 8th graders. You know what I mean?
No, they were.
They were.
Yeah,
they were finding talent amongst the Chicago area and
Yeah.
bringing them down to Christ Lutheran and smacking shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But my year, shout out to Miss Lamberti because she's a real one and she cared about winning.
Yeah.
But my year, they came down for our tournament. You know, our tournament's usually in February, right?
Mm-hmm.
They smacked us by
right before state.
right before state.
Yeah.
They smoked us by like 21-22, right? So Miss Lamberti literally came during class and was like, all the boys basketball team.
I heard about this.
Went to 8th grade, 7th grade, and I don't know if we had any 6th grade. We might have had Isaiah Heerman as a 6th grader on there, but like, who knows? We went, boom. We're in the gym. This is like during math, during reading, something. She's like, you guys lost by 21? 21 down and backs. Now, bow, schmink, doop, 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 doop. You guys lost by 21? All right. 5 intervals of 21 seconds, wall sits. Let's go. Boom, 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 boom. 21 sit-ups, 21 sit-ups, 21 push-ups. Boop, boop, boop. Like, so crazy. Like, made sure
Like,
we weren't gonna lose.
You can't lose to Palatine.
Nah.
You can't. You just
that one
can't.
hurt different. All right, so any of those teams that you said, do you think would have beat your state championship team?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, Blake Rayford's year, they definitely, like, I genuinely feel like my 2014 class got to be top 7. Got to be top 7 of all time. At least top 5. At least top 5.
You won state.
Yeah, we won state.
What can you say?
And, like, we definitely would have won nationals my 8th grade year, but we got cheated. We ain't even got to get into that. If you know, you know. But, no, I genuinely think my 2014 class was a top 5, top 7 class of all time of Christ.
Nah, for sure. And I'll agree. And the only reason I'll 100% give you that and I'll respect that is because you guys won state. So, like, I can't tell you shit. We got
second.
Second. We got second. Lost to Palatine.
Yeah,
and
like,
genuinely, that state trip was so fun. And, you know, like going on road trips and going in all these tournaments, like, that was a fun part of playing basketball. But me, I'll say, shit, no shame in my game. I rode bench. I rode bench so crazy that, like, 4th quarter up by 20, that's when I'm coming in type shit. I might try to get my buckets, but, like, I'm going to tell a story that the people don't even know. But this is how crazy I rode bench, is that we were at state. This was honestly like one of the first few games, maybe like the second game we played. And honestly, it was getting tough for us. Like, we were down that game. You know, we had to come back. But close game, 4th quarter, Quincy Broderick comes in, Quincy.
Yeah,
And, you know, he was sitting for whatever reason, just getting a breather, comes in, hits a big 3, puts us up by 1. You know, we end up winning that game by 3 or 4, but I just remember at the end of the game, Coach Mooney, shout out to Coach Mooney.
Yeah, shout out Terry.
Terry Jr.
Yeah.
We're in the locker room. You know, he's amped because it was a close game. So he's amped. We actually won the game. He's like, Kuzimato, because that's what they call me in Christ Lutheran, you know that. Kuzimato, you're the best goddamn bench player I've ever seen. Whole team's cheering. Motherfuckers in my face. I'm fighting back tears. I don't know how to feel. You know what I mean? Like, the best bench player? Nah, it's just more like, what do you mean best bench player? I'd rather been like, hey, the whole team, we went crazy. You singled me out, and it was all out of love. Like, you was showing me my credit, but like, never in my life has someone told me I'm the best bench player ever. That one hit different. And keep in mind, teams happy as hell for me. They, yeah. You stand up during every, like, you know, off ball, like, I'm fighting back these tears. I'm fighting them back so crazy. Like, damn, bro, just call me the best bench player too. Like, I appreciate it, gang, but like, I'd rather be like, team, we did good. We pulled it out. Like, best bench player ever. And he meant it with his, you're the best goddamn bench player. Like, damn.
They don't know about the Christ Lutheran relationships we had unless you went there, man.
I wouldn't trade that shit for the world. Like,
no, I really wouldn't. I'm really mad that me and Kobe could only be there for a year, though. Like, I really wish we could have been there for longer, for sure.
Nah, and obviously, I feel like if y'all would have came my 8th grade year,
we would have went back to back easily.
Ooh.
We would have went back to back easily.
I feel like it would have made a difference.
We would have went back to back for sure.
All right, so we're getting to a point in life that, you know, obviously we're trying to make sure we're set for the future. We're trying to make sure, you know, your future kids are set. What's next for Jaylin Howard?
Not kids. I can tell you that
Ooh,
right now.
ladies, he's telling you right now that's not on his agenda. He's not feeling that vibe. He's not ready for it. So don't expect that out of my man's because he's saying it right now.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's not what he's on.
Nah. I feel like, you know, with where my life is headed at, with everything that I got going on, you know, I think if I do want kids, I feel like it's important for me to be a part of my kid's life. But, you know, with me trying to go on tour and me moving down to Nashville, I think it's important for me to take care of what I need to first when it comes to like my living situation and just thinking about the future. Obviously, I want to put my music career first.
Of course.
And I feel like if I go on tour, I can't really be a dad when I'm on the road.
Okay, and you know that's a very like responsible way to put it. And if I'll say as a dad that
2 kids.
two kids, you know, putting it, you know, so there's never really a specific time that you feel like you'll be ready to be a dad. But that being said, at least you know that right now in your life, that's not the type of time in your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I definitely think it's because I know myself. Like, you know, I'm a partier. You know, like I like going out with my friends, having a good time. So I definitely want to at least get that part of my life out before I actually like move down to Nashville and like actually start touring and like start taking my music career seriously. So I'd rather do that, you know, travel the world first, get a few countries under my belt, and then I can find my wife and, you know, build a family.
Okay, y'all hear that? Not find my little girl, not find my little chick, find my wife.
No.
So if you're not giving wifey energy, then I'm telling you, he's not focused on kids right now. You guys know that. He's got goals he wants to reach. But after that, then he's looking for his wife. He's not looking for his little ting. He's not looking for his little side chick. He's looking for his wife.
I'm planning on dropping 2 albums next year.
2?
So the first one will be my guitar EP. It'll be just straight guitar, like songs like Folded by Kehlani. That'll definitely be on there.
So more like covers.
Yeah, a lot of covers. I'll definitely do some like originals. And then the next album, my boy Jamerson Wyatt, me and him are really good friends. I met him through TikTok. So me and him are planning my album. So we got a few things I'm planning with that, with me actually singing versus just me and my guitar.
Yeah.
So big shout out to my boy Jamerson Wyatt there. You know, he's definitely wrote me a lot of great songs, you know, and I definitely can't wait for y'all to hear that for sure.
Hey, that's fire. So you got plans, you got albums you want to come out, you know, you have an idea of what you want to do with life. Like that's very inspiring to hear. And not only as, you know, someone who's just on the show with a guest, but as, you know, my homie, one of my brothers, like I'm glad to hear that you have aspirations because I think generally that's a big part of like who you are in life is not being content with where you are now and having an idea of things you would like to accomplish.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that makes me happy to know that you want bigger and better things. Also, again, I would like to say thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule to come here and be on Kuzimato Talks. This episode was, you know, coming.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm glad you're able to be a part of something that's going to be huge, something that's going to be big, and that, you know, obviously you're planning on being huge and big in your own way. And hopefully one day we come back to whether it's Jaylin Howard, second episode, or Jaylin Howard on the road, on tour, but we collide and we're both doing things that we know we can accomplish.
100%. Before we head out, I definitely want to give a big shout out to my twin brother, Kobe.
Yes.
You know, I definitely wouldn't be
Shout out
here.
to Kobe.
You know, he just had a newborn 7 months ago.
Congrats.
May 10th. You know, I definitely wouldn't be in the position I'm in, you know, like just growing up with the twin brother, you know, he's definitely pushed me to the man I am growing into.
That's sweet.
You know, he definitely plays a big part of my life. You know, so I definitely want to give a big special shout out to him, you know, like, you know, me and him are good at everything, you know, and the reason because of that is because like we had each other to like
And
go
same
versus.
same thing that I said about you, I'll say about Kobe is that I've seen him hoop, and honestly, genuinely a great hooper. Like,
I mean, he cool. He can't beat
nah,
me. He
nah,
cool. He
nah,
cool.
nah,
He
nah,
cool.
nah,
He
nah.
alright.
Kobe, you know what
He
it is, and everyone who knows Kobe knows what it is. Great hooper, and then I didn't know he also played the drums. So like, when I see you playing guitar, and you know whoever else is a part of the band, but I see him on the drums, and I'm like, you know what, like. Also a man who's multi-talented, that he can do this, he can do that. So like, shout out to Kobe. And I know it's already, you know, different in life, navigating with a twin, that like, they know things about you that obviously no one else knows. That's your twin.
Yeah.
You know, you have quote unquote twin telepathy. You have feelings that you don't feel necessarily with anyone else, but this is your twin, so you feel with him. So like, I also want to say shout out to Kobe. Congrats on, you know, the newborn, not even necessarily a newborn anymore, but still congrats on becoming a father and welcoming you into fatherhood, because that's something special and something that, you know, you don't take for granted. So shout out to Kobe, solid nigga. Glad I can be a part of both your guys' circles and know what's going on.
It's super cool seeing him grow as a person, and especially in the fatherhood. You know, like I said, I've seen him. He's the closest person I've had to me in 25 years. You know, like losing both of our parents and stuff. You know, like he's one person I can like always, like, no matter what I'm going through, will always be able to lean back on. So I definitely look up to Kobe. I never even really tell him this, but, like,
I've never heard that either. Kobe, don't slight this. He said it on camera.
Yeah, I definitely look up to Kobe. He's definitely one of my biggest inspirations to keep me going with my music career. You know, with him having Lawrence, his baby, you know, that definitely puts another like extra kick into my motivation. You know, just not doing it for me, but not also him, but also for my twin brother's nephew. You know, like I have a whole bunch of nieces and nephews, but like it's a different
This
vibe.
one his
when
different.
you,
It's twin
like it's
son.
my twin brother. You know, having a baby, so you know, just him, just having Graham carry on our last name is definitely a big part of why I keep doing what I do. And, you know, like just being able to be a good role model for Graham, you know, that like with Kobe being my twin brother, that's definitely something I like will never take for granted. You know, like I want Graham to look up to me and be like, yo, like my uncle's like this really big.
And that's gasoline to the fire. That like whatever you already decided that like this is the reason I have to make what I'm gonna do, that like now you got Graham and he's gonna be like, Unc, he can brag at school like Unc did this. Like y'all ain't even touching me because I'm family or royalty. You know what I'm saying? So like, and same way you look at your nephew is the same. And I know you have more than, you know, nephews and nieces, but like same way you look at that as being the Unc that made it. I look at that with my kids, you know, they can be like, Daddy did this, Daddy did that. Like, 100%. They can brag on that shit. And that's something that I would love to have for them. And once again, I appreciate you for being solid, being genuine. I genuinely think that this interview went perfectly and that everything went as it was supposed to. And your answers were very good. They were very genuine. And I want to see you do well in life. And seeing you do well in life will make me happy, and I genuinely believe that.
I appreciate that, man. Well, thank you for having me.
Of course, man.
It's been a very, very fun podcast. This ain't the last one though.
This ain't the last one. There's more coming, guys.
Make sure y'all go follow my TikTok at Jaylin Howard 10, Jaylin Howard 10, and that is my TikTok. That's my TikTok.
Jaylin Howard 10, Jaylin Howard 10 on TikTok. Let's get this man to 1 million and keep tuning in to Kuzimato Talks. Thank you for tuning in to another great episode. We're going to catch y'all next time.
Yo.